It is the fall of 1947, and thousands of people have gathered on the Los Angeles coast. Everyone wants to witness an event that, if successful, will go down in history. The eccentric billionaire Howard Hughes plans to take off from the sea with the largest airplane ever built. The size is truly impressive, as tall as a 5-story building with a wingspan the length of a football field. Its size is not its only oddity. The entire plane is made of wood. That's why critics call it the flying lumberyard or the Spruce Goose. But Hughes remains unfazed. This is a crucial moment in his wild career. If he fails to lift the plane off the water, he will lose not only his reputation, but also most of his fortune. On November 2nd, Howard Hughes takes the controls and begins accelerating across the surface. Howard Hughes was born in Texas in 1905 into a very wealthy family. His father, Howard Robard Hughes Sr., invented and patented a drill bit capable of penetrating even the hardest rock, which was soon used by oil companies around the world. It was from him that young Howard inherited his interest in mechanical things. His first success came at the age of 12, when he built a motorized bicycle in his father's workshop. Howard's happy childhood did not last long. During his teenage years, both of his parents died within 2 years. His mother from pregnancy complications, his father from a heart attack. At 19, Hughes inherits his father's fortune and becomes one of the richest people in America. That's when his ambition surfaces, along with his desire to shed the label of a spoiled rich kid. He decides to prove to the world that he is even more capable than his father. And although it seems unlikely at first, it works. In fact, almost everything young Howard Hughes touches turns out at least partly successful. He first sets out to fulfill his dream of becoming a famous Hollywood producer. Even though he has no experience with film, success comes when he is just 22 years old. At that time, he earns his first Oscar nomination for the movie The Racket. 3 years later, he produces the most expensive film ever made, Hell's Angels. For this World War I aviation epic, he manages to gather an incredible 85 aircraft, making him the owner of the largest private air fleet in the world. Nearly 150 pilots perform stunts that no one has ever seen on screen before. The film dazzles not only audiences, but also critics. At 25, Hollywood is at Hughes' feet. At the time, he goes from one party to the next, living a wild life. His charm, confidence, wealth, and influence prove irresistible to dozens of Hollywood stars in the years to come, including the biggest names: Katharine Hepburn, Ava Gardner, Joan Crawford, and Elizabeth Taylor. All of them, and many others, were Howard's lovers for a time. Even more than women, Hughes is obsessed with flying and airplanes. In the summer of 1932, he buys a hangar in the San Fernando Valley, converts it into an assembly hall, and founds Hughes Aircraft Company. Engineers hired from the California Institute of Technology have one goal: to build the fastest plane in the world. 3 years later, in September 1935, the H-1 Silver Bullet reaches a record speed of 351 miles per hour. At the controls is none other than Hughes himself. More records soon follow. The fastest flight across the Atlantic. The fastest flight around the world. Hughes' success catches the attention of the military. They place an order with his company for 2 entirely new types of aircraft: a spy plane and a massive transport aircraft capable of carrying hundreds of soldiers. But as it turns out, this will be too big a bite even for Hughes. The spy plane, named XF-11, is completed only a year after the war. The test flight ends in disaster. With Hughes again at the controls, the plane crashes over Beverly Hills. "41-year-old Howard Hughes ends up in the hospital in critical condition. Doctors give him large doses of morphine and codeine, and he becomes addicted to them. The medication further deepens his psychological quirks, which people had already started noticing. He needs to control everything and fixates on even the smallest details. He has a pathological fear of germs, touches everything with paper tissues, gradually withdraws from people spending time isolated in shuttered hotel rooms. In 1947, however, he has to come out, as his career faces its biggest threat yet. He is accused of misusing government funds for both aircraft projects and must testify before a Senate investigation. During the hearing, Hughes promises that the second plane, the massive seaplane called the H-4 Hercules, will fly. And even as the hearing continues, he has the unfinished aircraft moved from a huge hangar near Los Angeles to the sea. The Hercules is a giant. It is designed to carry 750 fully armed soldiers. It stands about 82 feet tall, with a wingspan of a record-breaking 320 feet. Most remarkable is that, due to wartime metal restrictions, it had to be built from wood and wooden laminates. Now, Hughes plans to get this 265,000-pound wooden monster into the air. On November 2nd, 1947, he actually succeeds. The Hercules only lifts to a height of about 70 feet, flying for 26 seconds over a distance of roughly 1 mile, and the military is no longer interested. But for Hughes, it is still a personal triumph. He did what he promised. Despite all doubts and ridicule, he managed to get the giant plane off the ground. After that, military contracts start pouring in. In the following years, he employs up to 80,000 people and becomes the richest American of his time, with a fortune of $1.5 billion. His companies develop the first remotely guided missile. His probe lands on the moon. He launches the first telecommunications satellite into orbit, builds one of the largest scientific institutes in the world, the Howard Hughes Medical Institute in Miami, and expands his giant airline, Trans World Airlines. But even that doesn't bring him happiness. His illness, now known as obsessive-compulsive disorder, worsens to the point that he spends the last 20 years of his life in total isolation, essentially a codeine-addicted recluse. He stops dressing, shaving, cutting his hair, and eventually even stops eating. He dies of organ failure in 1976 at the age of 70. Yes, such turns of fate can happen. A man who once dazzled the world dies as an unhappy, lonely, and nearly forgotten eccentric.